there's nothing right here about it. There's no right decision when it came to that. Somebody eventually was going to get hurt. And in this case, all three of us. Question number 5. What sentence destroyed you, but you acted like it didn't hurt you? This is a real personal question, and I can choose not to answer it, not even to do this video, right? But if I'm trying to be transparent and I'm trying to speak from my heart and to show that even when hardships come your way, you can turn out great. I want people to see that whatever they're going through now, I am the outcome of that. Like, I did it. I got here. So with that question, I know the sentence that hurt me the most, I was 16 years old, and just to give you a backstory on it, my parents were married for a very, very long time, and my mom got married to my dad when she was 16 years old. I'm just giving you a background so you can understand. As I get older, I understand each of their side, you know. My mom was 16 and my mom was 15 actually, and my dad was 22, 23. Back then that was allowed. And she spent her whole entire youth turning into a woman, becoming a woman with my dad. And I understand that. I understand now that a woman changes through each season that she goes through. And obviously, me being a 45-year-old, I am not going to be the same like I was a 16-year-old. My mind changed. I grew up, you know. So I don't blame any of them for what happened. It was just a lot of pain that they had. So what happened in this moment was that my mom, she had an affair, and my dad found out. And my dad did not hesitate to hire a private investigator and see what is happening with his family. I don't blame him, you know. So that private investigator caught me in the middle of it, and I was not hiding it. I was a 15-year-old girl, very innocent in my mind. I really didn't know what was happening. I knew when I felt something was wrong, but I really couldn't quite put my finger. Even now, me as a woman, looking at it now, right? It's like, how can you not tell? Like, how can you not tell? But again, it was the innocent mind that I had, that I wouldn't think that she was capable of doing this. But I was in the middle, and in the middle between her and, you know, her little friends. And it was caught on phone. And I remember, I can't even talk about this, right, without inflicting pain on anyone, because that's not my intention. But I love to speak truth, you know, and I have been told plenty of time that I need to tell my story and speak truth. So I'm not offending anyone. I'm speaking my truth from my point of view. So I remember her being extremely unhappy. I knew that about her. I felt that about her. And she had lost a lot of weight, and she looked beautiful. And a lot of men were noticing that. Even my friends were noticing that. Like, my guy friends would be like, well, can you hook me up with your friend? And I'm like, she's not my friend, she's my mother. So she looked beautiful. So she was getting a lot of attention, and the attention that she wasn't getting at home, she was getting from other men. I understand that now. Back then I didn't. my dad was very, he spent a lot of time doing other things. And again, I don't blame any of them. I'm trying to protect them both, right? Or protect my family, even through the midst of all of that. So I'm saying this with a lot of respect towards both of them and my family. When she lost all that weight and got the attention that she wanted, she just fell for it. And she allowed her feelings and emotions just to go. So like I said, I understand her now. And with me, how I was involved was, I think she was using me. Not that I know she was using me as a decoy. And I remember the phone rang once, and it was like, they would call and hang up, and eventually, I guess she gave the person permission to say hi to me, because she was my best friend, you know. So eventually, long story short, there's a lot of story here, you guys, and a lot of emotions involved in this too. I pick up the phone and the person says hello, and I spoke. And I'm not going to get into those details because that's another video. And before you know it, I became this middle person in that relationship that I did not know existed. I just thought that they were just friends, you know. Now, I think about it and I'm like, geez, I was not gullible. It's not gullible. I was very innocent. And I trusted both of my parents, that I knew that what they were doing was correct, you know? So anyways, when my father found out about all of this and the private investigator told him, I remember they were arguing upstairs and I was standing by the steps trying to listen to see what was going on. And they come running down the stairs because my mom had a bag and she was leaving. And he just looked at me and he said, "You knew about this and you didn't even tell me." I cry not because I'm not over it. I cry because I can still hear the pain in my dad's voice. And me as a 16-year-old, 17, no, I was 16 because I was 16. How was I supposed to know any better? You know, I just remember running into my room and just sitting there like, what just happened? I'm sorry, I did not run into my room because my mom was leaving and I was screaming at her to not let me go and don't leave me here. But she couldn't take me, but that's another story. So I ran into the room and I just sat there thinking, like, what did I do and who did I hurt? What just happened? And that sentence has never erased from my mind. It was an unintentional pain that I caused someone and I didn't even know it. When you're in the middle of something between two people you love, that's the hardest thing to do. You don't know what's the right thing to do because one of them is going to get hurt. And there was a lot of things that added to that pain that he felt and the pain that I felt, because when he started to say how I knew and how he found out I knew, I knew that was the biggest betrayal he ever felt, not only from his wife, but from his 16-year-old daughter. Again, I'd never blame myself for their separation, their divorce. I never took that upon myself. Thank God for that. But I do carry that moment of betrayal, and it wasn't intentional. I understand now that I was innocently put in a situation that was out of my control, and I didn't have any base of understanding what was happening. I just did what I was told, and that was it. So that sentence is always embedded in my head. And this is why now I try my best to tell the truth in situations that I have to. Because I also understand that there's certain moments where if it's gonna hurt the other person, and I know they're not ready and capable to hear what is being said or being done, I don't speak so fast. I wait for the right moment and use wisdom when speaking. But to this day, because of that phrase, that sentence, I always try my best to tell the truth in everything. So no one is caught off guard and no one is hurt. You know, as I have gotten older, I have been placed in those situations as well. And I do it so different now, because now for me is more of who's going to end up getting hurt here, who is capable of hearing the truth. Because we all say we want the truth, but the question is, can you handle what people have to say about you, or how people view you, or what people are doing behind your back? So could I have in that moment said, hey, Dad, Mom is doing this behind your back? What chaos would I have started at that moment? You know? So it's like I think about every scenario of how I could have gone about this. And there's nothing right here about it. There's no right decision when it came to that. Somebody eventually was going to get hurt. And in this case, all three of us. So whatever scenario it was, all three of us would end up getting hurt. I ended up getting hurt and I didn't even realize what I was doing. So even now in this age where I'm at 45, when I am involved in those situations, I try my best to think about like, how can this scenario be played out with anybody getting hurt? But at the end of the day, it's just going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt. It's just a matter of saying it in such a way and with wisdom that it doesn't hurt the wound too much. And another piece of advice that I give to myself now, if you know that the person can't handle what's being said or what you have to say to them, I won't say anything. It's not the time, it's not the right place, it's not the right moment. They're not ready for that. They will either hold it against you, they will start looking at you in a different type of way. So I rather not say anything at the moment and just wait till that thick skin builds. And if that thick skin never builds, then I will never open my mouth. I think I know. Not that I know that some people cannot hear the truth about them unless God himself revealed it to them. And then that comes from a different place. I know that they say also, but you're my friend, and how you view me or what you have to say to me, I trust you. I've been there, I've done that as well. I've done it. I did that once. I'm very honest with someone, and that just backfired on me. And if you know me, you know I'm the type of person that I say things with love, and I say things with wanting you to become the best version of yourself. Never to criticize and never to judge. So now I'm just very, very wise when it comes to speaking truth to someone that when it has to do about them. So that sentence right there changed my whole entire view on people and when not to speak. I remember God once, he told me, I am the one who's going to open your mouth to speak, and I'm going to when you don't have to speak. And how do I know when I have to speak? My heart goes really fast. And how do I know when I need to sip it? I get freezing cold. Like if I'm in a room and a conversation comes up that shouldn't be had, I get so cold. And I know that's the Holy Spirit telling me, don't be involved in this conversation. Don't even open your mouth to say anything about this conversation, and walk away or stay quiet. So discernment is real. Those were the questions. This was fun. Thank you for listening to this mini series. So right there, right below, right there, either do a video and stitch this or write your answers at the bottom. It's always fun for other people to join in this, and let's do this together. Let's learn about each other more. Let's become more vulnerable. Let's become transparent. Let's become raw. So, come on. We need realness nowadays. So let's get real. Let's pause for a moment and be real.